Another UFC event and another event where fouls go unpunished. This social media user said Herb Dean warned Roman Dolidze strongly at the start of round two to have the fingers up like this when hand fighting, but Roman eye pokes almost instantly after, and Herb doesn't deduct the point. Classic Herb Dean. It's less classic Herb Dean and more just classic MMA officiating. This is an overall officiating problem in MMA. This doesn't just fall on Herb Dean. However, he is one of the front men. He is one of the faces of the sport when it comes to officiating. So I feel like he should have taken charge tonight and he should have set a new precedent. You know, when you're the standard, which is what Herb Dean is nowadays, you are the leader. You're the person that people kind of look to follow and to set an example for those people. And Herb kind of didn't do that, you know? It was just more warnings and more of the same. But how much longer are we going to do this for? Does somebody have to lose an eye? I mean, people have, torn retinas, detached retinas, like it's really dangerous. And not just that, but it could be fence grabs, it could be any type of foul, groin strikes, any way you want to back of the head. See a lot of back of the head stuff go unchecked all the time. Fights get finished with back of the head shots all the time. So it's really disappointing when the sport is trying to conduct itself as a sport. The UFC talks about, oh, we're not in competition with other MMA promotions. We're in competition with the NFL, NBA, and other sports leagues. Okay, fine. But if that's the case, you have to conduct yourself as a sports league as well. And what does that mean? It means enforcing the rules. And if you're going to have rules, you have to enforce them. And I believe a point should be taken immediately. No warnings. In fact, your warning was in the back. Your warning was when the referee goes to you before your fight and explains the rules, which happens every fight. You know, that's what they do. That's protocol. So that's your warning. Anything else after that is a point taken away. If you're a fighter, it's your job to know the damn rules. It's your job. You know damn well you're not supposed to be grabbing the fence. So why are you doing it? You're doing it because you'll know you'll get away with it. I'm going back many years now, but if you go back and watch Jose Aldo versus Chad Mendes, the first fight, he grabs the fence and then he knees him in the face and he knocks out Chad Mendes. It's one of the most egregious fence grabs of all time. Looking back on it, the fight probably should have been labeled a no contest or something like that, or maybe even a disqualification because the fence grab, which was illegal, 100% led to the takedown being stuffed, which led to the knee knocking out one Chad Mendes. So, you got tons of things like this. You got Henry Cejudo getting eye poked. This is a guy who's a double champion. This is a guy who should have more respect. I mean, like, this is someone who I feel like if it happens to him, you have to take notice as a sport and you kind of have to go forward differently. I'm getting tired of it, man. I'm getting tired of it. A lot of people are getting tired of it. I think we should at least try it. Try to be stricter with the rules. Take a point away immediately. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Dana doesn't really want it to happen. When Dana was asked about the Cejudo thing, he kind of said, like, he wasn't really all for taking a point away. He was like, oh, it's an accident. You know what I mean? Like, it happens. Like, that was his attitude. He was very blah, blah about it. And I don't think that's the right approach, but, I'm sure maybe Dana knows some things that I don't. Maybe he doesn't want it affecting, you got the gambling and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes where it's like, we can't just take a point away in a 3-round fight or even in a 5-round fight. There's not a lot of rounds in a UFC fight. In boxing, you can take a point away because there's 12 damn rounds. There's 12 of them. But in MMA, it's a big difference. Only 5. And for most fights, only 3, right? Most fights aren't championship fights, so only 3. And I'm really in a hole now just because I slipped up and I accidentally poked the guy in the eye. So it becomes this thing where it's like you kind of have to allow fouls. But I don't know. I don't buy it. I think if you really start punishing fighters, or even implementing a fine system like what Pride had, and you fine the person X amount of their purse, maybe I think you'll see people stop immediately. I think all that hand fighting, all this stuff, I think it'll turn into this real quick. I think people will start closing the hand, and I think people will start respecting the rules, respecting the opponents, and honing in that discipline that martial arts is supposed to teach you. I mean, this is still martial arts. It's not just fighting in a cage. Like, there has to be some sense of sportsmanship, discipline, pride, all these things, honor. You don't have to do this. You don't have to grab fences. You don't have to grab the shorts. You don't have to kick to the groin. Control your weapons and be a professional. That's my take. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Whether you agree or disagree, it does not matter. Just join the discussion, follow for more, and of course, leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.